Wayne Taylor, Mike Richardson here in front of the Senior Center after having a real great interview with Lynn Waterman and Darlene Perkins, who's the outreach coordinator. It's really interesting, Wayne, the type of services this organization provides.
Yeah, they provide everything from outreach and going into the homes to help, as well as the community services that are available for, whatever they like to do, play games or whatever.
I guess Mashpee's got a large senior population,
Absolutely,
so I mean, they can come here and play cards, they can come here and communicate, have a lunch and everything else. It's really got a wonderful place that we offer.
I think this interview that we did is going to give a lot of information to seniors that will be helpful in the future.
So those of you out there taking a watch of some of these things we're showing you, there's something about Mashpee. There's really something you got to really look into even more deeply. If you have family that are in the senior arena, is look up the Senior Center, get a hold of Lynn Waterman and Darlene, and make sure you take advantage of this opportunity. Wayne Taylor and Mike Richardson here for There's Something About Mashpee. We're talking to Lynn Waterman. Mashpee's kind of one of those towns that doubles or triples its population over the summertime. It's kind of a touristy destination because of all the golf courses and beaches, but it's another kind of a town. It's got a large senior population. We have volunteers seeming like everywhere, unlike other towns whose senior center sort of is a vast wasteland and rooms are empty. This seems to be a plethora, if that's the right word, of activities. So we're here to talk to Lynn Waterman today, and we want to know a little bit about Mashpee Senior Center and I guess more about Lynn Waterman. So tell us something about Lynn.
What would you like to know? Would you like me to start far back or recently, or?
You can go as far back as you want,
Okay.
but this is going to be published, so make sure you be careful.
Sounds good. I grew up in Attleboro, Massachusetts, and something that people may not know, I'm an identical twin. I have a twin sister, and we grew up in Attleboro and spent summers here on the Cape. So that's how I ended up being on Cape Cod, and got married. Well, I went to college, University of Connecticut, got married. We had a son, decided to move here to the Cape, to Mashpee, and then to Sandwich. And just because it's such a fabulous place to be, Cape Cod, and particularly Mashpee. And started working here at the Senior Center, I think it was about 1988, as the outreach coordinator. So I've been here at the Senior Center for a long time. So.
You just started, I know, Lynn, taking over for Jim not too long ago,
Yes.
And the transition seems to be seamless from our perspective. How's it going for you and getting your feet wet in this job?
I think it was a big advantage being here for so long. Certainly knowing the volunteers and all the participants here and the wonderful staff. I think it really made such a big difference in all the folks that are involved here. So I made a little bit of change, but it was mostly just trying to keep the wonderful Senior Center going and all the activities that we have here. Did make some changes with the activity program, probably to attract some of the baby boomers in. But I think, honestly, a lot of the attraction is just the building here. So this is a fabulous Senior Center. We've been here about 10 years, and want to thank the DPW for keeping it up so well. We get a lot of compliments on the building itself. So, but not made some change, but just glad to keep the programs going.
So let me ask you. I mean, I could think of how much fun you could have by bringing your twin here and just getting people really confused. But how about describing a typical day at the Senior Center?
Good question.
And maybe kind of a tough question to answer, but
I think a typical day would start out with a fitness program, some type of movement activity. That tends to be most of our mornings. And then moving into other different programs, whether it's a woodworking group or a men's group, or also we're a site for the ALL, which is the Academy for Lifelong Learning from the college. We're a site, so we have their programs here in the morning as well. Then we have a fabulous luncheon here through our friends, the Elder Services of Cape Cod, which is primarily the state agency in this area, that does a wonderful luncheon every day, open to any senior here in the area, actually in Mashpee, but in the area, who wants to just, join for lunch and meet some new folks. So that's usually the lunchtime. And then afterwards, we might do different card groups, whether it's, a bridge group or canasta or pinochle. And that's a typical type of day that we might have. And a lot of times we have changing presentations as well. So we've been trying to do a lot of the nature presentations and history presentations, and just trying to use some of the resources in the Cape community and locally here, just to expose the seniors that we have in this area here to the different programs and different resources on the Cape. So.
I know, Lynn, that we have a lot of volunteers in this group,
We
and
do.
I know that we do a nice volunteer luncheon. And can you explain a little bit how that all works and
Sure.
what those volunteers actually do for us?
I want to say especially thank you to all the wonderful volunteers that we have, because it's a very large program. I think it's probably one of the largest programs on the Cape, actually. At any time we have usually between 200 and 225 volunteers. So it's a pretty mature program. We have mostly older folks that are our volunteers, but we have some young people as well. And they do a variety of activities for us, everything from driving seniors to their medical appointments to visiting. We have a wonderful thrift shop. We have a fabulous group for us, the Friends of the Council on Aging. So they're part of our volunteer corps as well. We have people that have assisted with all the programs that we run here and might do a program for us, a presentation for us, all the volunteers that help at the front desk. So lots of different volunteers, and what we try to do is certainly honor them once a year. This year it will be in May, as it usually is. And we have a wonderful luncheon, and it's our way of saying thank you, and we certainly will honor a Volunteer of the Year and a Rookie Volunteer of the Year as well. So it'll be a great day.
So a couple hundred or more volunteers, and they're throughout the town doing a bunch of things for different places in the town, library and that type of thing as well, right?
Some of them would volunteer also, for example, at the library or supporting other parts of the town. Yes.
We also have a group, and I'm drawing a blank on the name of it, that meet on a monthly basis and volunteer in a kind of, help me with that name, I can't remember. They Wednesday mornings they meet, and the council.
The Council on Aging.
Council on Aging.
Sure.
Jeez, I knew they were. I feel bad that I can't remember it, but.
And that's our board.
Wayne is going to be your newest senior.
I think I'm having a part of that dementia now.
That's our wonderful advisory board. So
Yes.
they meet once a month with myself and some of the other staff, and it's really for them to give us some good guidance and feedback from the senior community about programs they think we should be doing, and just giving us wonderful guidance and support.
So can you give me a rough number about how many seniors participate in this senior center? I know it changes with the seasons probably, but.
It does. There's quite a bit of fluctuation. Maybe just for some framing purposes, that we have probably around 4,500 to 4,700 seniors in the town. And by that I mean we define senior as 59 and a half and over. We sometimes get questioned about that. That's kind of an interesting way of defining it. But I guess the thinking was that it's thinking about going into your 60th year. So we have folks that are 59 and a half and over, and all the way up to probably 100 years old. And by the way, there's quite a few number of folks that are in their 90s doing very well in the community here in Mashpee and really flourishing. But so we have, at any point, we have, I would say certainly, we feel like we connect with at least between a third and a half of those seniors over a year period, whether it's by them coming here and getting involved in a program, whether it's by the outreach program assisting folks in whatever way that they can, by either information or assistance or guidance. phone calling in, so we have a lot of people calling in just asking for basic information. So we figure somewhere between a third and a half that we connect with over a year period. And along with that, we mail to approximately 2,000 senior households in the community. So.
I know that, excuse me, you had talked about starting at 60 and going to 100. That's quite a broad range of age. And I'm sure that must be difficult to try to come up with programs that will meet needs of a 60-year-old against a 100-year-old.
Yeah.
How do you work that out?
You know, that's a great question. I think one of the things that we really try to convey, especially to younger folks, is how heterogeneous the senior population is. I think it's, especially if you're younger, you might be thinking that seniors are very similar. And we like to think that in the same way that an infant and a 40-year-old would be probably very different, I think that it can be very different between a 60-year-old and someone who's in their 90s or 100. So it's always a bit of a balancing act, and we feel like we're trying to really connect with as many parts of the senior community that we can, whether it's folks of lower income or folks, you know, who are of higher income, or folks who are, again, 60 or 100. You know, again, folks that have more education or less so, folks that have some wonderful health and others that are less healthy. We're always trying to develop programs for the different communities that are out there. I think one of the challenges has been that we're trying to develop activities that would appeal to, say, younger seniors that might not see themselves as seniors, that may not see themselves as candidates for joining a program here. So one thing that we've done recently is develop, Christine, our activity coordinator, has done a great job establishing a social club for people who are in their 60s. And by that, we're saying folks that are between the ages of 60 and 69, because so many times we heard, well, I'm not sure I want to go to the senior center because I'm younger. I'm a younger senior. So this is a way for folks to meet their peers and hopefully do other things together and get involved with each other. So.
Well, when you consider that, Wayne, you know, I mean, there's something else that people now know about Mashpee is that you and I are members of the senior center.
That's right.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was a member until now, but that's great.
And we really try to be very inclusive. That's really, and we're, again, it's part of our trying to reach out to every senior in town for them to get to know us and whatever guidance or assistance or support we can provide to them.
Great.
What's that?